Hello, everyone, and welcome along to this live webinar. And today we're going to speak about property data management and cash flow management. If you haven't subscribed yet to our YouTube channel, feel free to subscribe now. Today we are running a special promotion just for the attendance of this webinar. So you can benefit from a 60-day free trial for our premium plan by using a specific code that Sarel will put on the chat. So just go to your settings page, click on upgrade, and put the coupon there, and you will be get the 60-day free trial for our premium plan, which we will highlight some of its features during this webinar. So the agenda for today, we'll start with a very high-level overview about the platform, and then we'll demo how you can set up property and tenancy details, how to define your rent payment schedule, then set up your cash flow history. Then we'll show you how you can link your bank account to Lendlord, and then manage the transactions on an ongoing basis. And we'll show you how we can set up and configure the categories for income and expenses. And then eventually how you can review your reports, the profit and loss statement, and also expenses breakdown reports and others. And in the end, we'll have questions. Feel free, if you have questions, feel free to put them on the chat. And if it's relevant, we will answer as we go. But anyway, in the end, we'll have session for questions and answers. Okay, so let's start with a high-level overview about Lendlord. So Lendlord basically is for, I would say, two types of users. One are people that just want to get started, and also active property investors. And here we have in the invest part of the platform, you can source properties, analyze property deals, and I will show you in a sec how it works. And the second type of users are seasoned pro users, people that already own an existing portfolio, many years in the industry, and they want to manage their portfolios on Lendlord. But of course, they can also use the invest part of the platform to grow the property business. So we have in the invest part tools to invest smarter. In the manage part of the platform, you can manage your existing portfolio and existing cash flow, get all the alerts that you need, manage your documents, etc. And on the finance side, you can get access to mortgage products, bridging finance, and apply online, everything in one place. So in a brief, the invest part of the platform. So you have the property sourcing section. So here you have properties that are now up for sale from agents that are being uploaded to the platform every day. So you can get information about the property. You can view the pictures. And if you want to, you can contact the agent to start a process or to get more information. On the on each property page, you can add the property to a watch list. This is our part of our premium plan. And then on the sourcing alerts, you can apply rules. So you can get alerts when property on your watch list increased, the price was increased or price was decreased. You can also get auction date reminders, but you can also get alerts when there are new properties on the platform that match your search criteria, which you can define here. So you can define, address and the radius around this address, price from, price to, the property type you are looking for, number of bedrooms, number of bathrooms. No, sorry, from number of bedrooms from number of bedrooms to. Based on that, you will get notifications when there is a new property that meet your criteria. So this is the sourcing part. You, of course, also in the auctions tab, you can find many properties, auction lots from auction houses online. So you can visit the page, see the photos and see the guide price, the auction date, and also get the first analysis using our deal analyzer or our flip analyzer. And you can click on place bid to go to the auction house itself, the auction lot, and again, start the process or obtain more data. The property list is also something that is quite valuable and powerful. You can type an address, then decide the radius, and then just select the list. For instance, if you want to see repossessed properties, then click search. It takes some time, but then you will get all the properties that meet the category in this area. And it's like another way to source properties using Lendlord. And then in one click, you can see the property on Rightmove. A very powerful feature. It's also part of our premium plan, I think, if you want to do more searches every month. Then the deal analyzer. This is the way to analyze new property deals. Type the address, immediately we'll receive some information about this property in terms of type, EPC level, size, and some information about the postcode. Then you just need to type two data items, the purchase price and the expected monthly rent. The platform will calculate for you the short-term and the long-term values. And starting this point, you just need to tweak the data and add more details. Then you can go to the prospect report to see a summary of the deal. You can export the report to a PDF report, very designed. So you can also share the analysis with others by entering their email address. You can export the data also to Excel. And you can also go to postcode info to get more information about the postcode. And then you can see the 5-year capital growth in this area, the property demand, if it's a buyer or seller market, some statistics about crime, rental demand, price per square foot, some data about demographics, schools, council tax, flood risk, and more. So very valuable when you assess a new property deal. Also to take a look on the postcode information page to get more information before you make a decision. And you can also apply different scenarios. So the worst case scenario, best case scenario, and see how it impacts your metrics. And you can also edit the best case scenario. What will be the occupancy rate, the property appreciation, rent appreciation, and inflation. So this is basically the invest part of the platform. Of course, we have many more features, so feel free to use the platform. You can use the tutorials drop down here to get some video tutorials. And of course, you can reach out using this chat box and ask questions or schedule a demo. Sarel will also put the link to schedule a demo on the chat. The managed part of the platform, this basically will be the focus of our webinar. So I will show it in a sec. And the third section is the finance. And here, basically, you can start to perform a search for mortgage products or remortgage products. It's based on your criteria. If you go to the available lenders tab under finance, you will see the analysis of your portfolio. You can see the calculation of the ICR and which lenders are available for you, which lenders are not, and the reason. And you can also perform the search based on the owner. So each owner has different accounts, and if you apply with a partner, your situation might be different. So you can see everything in this page. And then the mortgage search is based on this criteria. So you can see live products from buy-to-let lenders. And the good thing is that you can also apply online for a mortgage or remortgage using our digital broker. Same goes for bridging finance. With bridging, Lendlord is the lender. We are not acting as a broker. We actually are the lender. Start a quick process. Our team will support you during the process. And we offer now a promotion by the end of August, free valuation. Valuation free for any application submitted by the end of August. Again, quick process to start. Inquire, to submit your inquiry, then to start an application for bridging finance. So this is in a very high level overview. Feel free to ask questions in the chat, and then let's start now with the agenda for this webinar. All right. So how to set up property and tenancy details. So for this purpose, I opened a new account in our QA environment. It's our test environment. So the first thing will be adding my first property on my portfolio page. So I can add the property one by one, but I can also upload a spreadsheet. So let's say that you maintain a spreadsheet. You can upload the spreadsheet to Lendlord and then just map your fields to the platform fields, and all the data will be uploaded to Lendlord. But you can also do it one by one by clicking add property. So you should start with typing the address. Then you can see that there are sections, the mortgage section, property details sections, utilities, landlord insurance, and more. So don't be afraid. You don't need to enter all the data at once. You can, there are no mandatory fields. You can just start with typing some of the info, and then after that, you can tweak the data. So for this example, I would put the purchase details, the purchase price, the current estimated value. And if I want, I can use some indication. If I click on online evaluation, it's not fully accurate, but it can give you some indication about the property value. You can decide if you want to use it or use your own number. The purchase date, and the expected monthly rental income. Ownership. So it's also important if it's a private ownership or company ownership. We Lendlord manage everything, so we can manage different type of ownerships and different owners. So in this case, let's do Ben owns 50%, and I can add now new owner to my account. I can also invite them after that using the team members tab. So they can be also viewing the account together with me. So let's say that Kate also owns 50% of this property. Then I will go to the mortgage section. So this property has a mortgage. Let's say it's with Barclays. Start date, end date. But just for this case, I will just put some details, the mortgage original and the current mortgage balance, repayment method, let's say it's interest only, current rate, and the expiry date. The expiry date is important because every time you put a date on the add property or edit property pop-up, then the platform will create an alert for you. So you will get notifications before due dates. And you can define the notifications on the settings page. And you can decide if you want to receive notification 90, 60, 30, 40, 14, and 3 days before the due date. So any date that you put, you will get an alert, and you can track all of your due dates in one place. Let's put the expiry date, this date, then the mortgage monthly cost. I think this is enough. Of course, you can add many more details to each property, so you can store all the information of your properties, information for your portfolio in a secure way in the cloud, accessible anywhere. So click save. Then the platform will create a property for me and start to build a summary. So if I add more properties, I will see how much equity I have in total and all the other metrics. The good thing is that I can also create new views. I can use the predefined views of the platform, but I can create views. Views mean any view, basically. Each view has different columns. So you can see that the mortgage views will contain all the columns that are relevant for your mortgage broker or your mortgage lender. Then just click export and send it over. The view of like the property details view, the insurance for insurance company view, the equity view, which includes just the equity. I like to add to the equity also the LTV. So if you want to add column, just open the view and add a column. And then you have another column in this view. You can also apply filters. So I can filter just the properties of Ben or the properties of Kate and Ben together, etc. So after I set up my properties on the My Portfolio page, I will go to My Tenants, and I will add the tenants and tenancies. So let's start with adding my first tenant. I need to attach it, allocate it to a property, of course. And if it's a multi-unit property, I can actually define more than one tenant and tenancy per one property. Then the tenancy period. Let's say it's a 1-year term. Rent payment, let's say this tenant pays £500 monthly. If it's a rolling tenancy or not, let's say no in this case. And if I want to review the rent, I will also get alert when it's time to review the rent. So I will do it annually. So the next review will be in the year. Then I can also add some details about the guarantor, the deposit scheme, deposit amount, and other details. I click save. Then the platform will create for me the payment schedule. Now it's in QA, but soon you will be able to invite your tenant. And when you invite your tenant, they will be able to see the payment schedule, but also you will be able to share documents with them, which is part of like the compliance of the property. You need, when you have a tenant, you need to share some of the documents, the EPC, rent, the right to rent, of course, the ST agreement with your tenant. So it will be available on Lendlord very soon. In this case, I will just click approve. Another new feature of Lendlord is the generator, the ST generator. It's part of our premium plan, which is £99 per year. And as I mentioned in the beginning, it's a fake account, don't worry. For the attendance of this webinar, you will get the premium plan for 60 days free. And if you sign up in the next 24 hours, so just go to your settings page and click upgrade and start your 60-day free trial. You can cancel at any time with no charge. And this is like the way to generate tenancy agreement. Again, it's not live yet. It's in the testing environment, but it should be released next week. So it takes the details from the tenancy that I just created. I can change the details and then click next, and the platform will generate the ST agreement for me. And I can also manage the sections, so I can add sections. I can also, like, one of the features will be like to edit the sections that were predefined by the platform, so it can be very customizable, and then you can download and send it over. And next phase will be also to do it with also auto sign with your tenant. So it's also something that's coming very soon. Okay, so I define the property on my portfolio. I define the tenant on my tenants. The next step will be to take care of my cash flow. So the cash flow, basically, the visualization of the cash flow will be on the profit and loss page. But the page that you need to manage everything is the transactions page. And here you have a few options. You can either add transaction manually. You can scan a receipt, also available from your mobile. You just need to scan the receipt and all the information will be uploaded automatically. You can import a file, but the most recommended way is to link your bank account. It's a secure way. We use Plaid, which is regulated by the FCA. Lendlord is regulated to be an agent of Plaid for the open banking. We don't have any access to your credentials. We just get a read-only access to your bank account. And then you can automate the entire process of allocating transactions to properties. So the process is just click on link account. Let's do it again. From here, link account, continue, allow, select the bank, your bank, continue. Then it will be redirected to your bank website. Here is the place that you need to put your credentials. This is a test account. It's not my real credentials. And then make the connection. Then the platform will ask you to retrieve your initial transaction. So here, basically, it's the place to manage your cash flow history. So you can retrieve transactions, I think, up to 2 years. And then you can allocate all the transactions to the properties retroactively. But you can start just with this financial year, for instance, or just from now on. It really depends on you. And then let's say, okay, I want to retrieve transactions from the last 30 days, okay? Retrieve transactions. And then I will receive this, I will get this wizard. And every time that you log into Lendlord, if you link your bank account, you will get this wizard with the transaction that were retrieved in the last 24 hours. Okay, and you can apply a rule if you click on recurring transaction. So the platform will track it automatically for you, and you can just review it on your transactions page and decide if it's okay or not. So you can actually fully automate your cash flow using this feature. So when I get, again, this is a demo account. When I get an express income, I just need to decide to allocate it to the relevant property, or I can also allocate it to a higher level. We call it entire portfolio. If it's expense like accountant fees, so you don't want to allocate it to a specific property, but for your entire portfolio. Okay, if you manage companies, if the ownership, you can also allocate expense and income to the company level. Okay, then I need to define the category. And I can control the categories from here. We have like a session for that in a sec. And then I click allocate. I can also split transaction. Let's say that I want to split this transaction to 2 properties. I can use the split transaction button and just allocate it to different properties. But in this case, I will just allocate it to this property. Then the next one. Ignore the descriptions. It's a demo account. Okay, now I received an income, okay? So let's say that this was the rent from my tenant, okay? So here, if you recall, the platform created the payment schedule for us. So all I need to do is first I would select the recurring transaction. So the platform will record this rule for the next time. Then I choose the property, and in this drop down, select the payment, I will see all the payments that are coming from this tenant. So I will select this one, the 1st of August rent. And next month, the platform will allocate it to the next payment. And I will categorize it as rent, okay? Then I click allocate. I can also click handle it later from the transactions page, but I want to show you now. So you see now the log of all the transactions that I allocated. And of course, you can allocate all the transactions that were not allocated yet by clicking on the edit icon. And I can see in the status, it's also important how this transaction was allocated. So you can see that it was allocated manually on this date. Next month, all the transactions that I put the recurring checkbox, you will see that it was allocated automatically. And then you can either click on revert or just keep it like this. Then now let's go to the payment schedule tab. So you can see that the transaction of the income that I just allocated marked here. So you can see that the payments, the rent payments for this month were paid. There are no overdue payments, okay? And on the profit and loss page, you can see the statement of July based on the transactions that we just allocated. Now on the reports, you can see, it was July, last month. You can see the income and expenses in a P&L report. I can also go to the expenses breakdown to see the breakdown per category. You can also upload all the receipts for those transactions as well.
Aviram?
Yes?
Linda has a question.
Yeah.
She's asking if payment date changes or rent changes, how do I amend the payment schedule?
All right. So let's say that you have a tenancy that if you want to change it during the period, so click on edit, go to the tenancy details, and then let's say that you change the rent payment from 500 to 700. Then the platform will ask you, okay, since which date you change it. So let's say that the change I want to apply just from 1st of December, okay? I click update. Then you can see that the platform will change the payments just starting December. So this is like the way to change rent payment during the period. I hope this answers, Sarel, or if it's not, just feel free to ask a follow-up question, but I think this should basically address the question. All right, so just to summarize, so we saw how we are adding like a new property on my portfolio, adding a tenant on my tenants, linking my bank account on the transactions page, and then allocate them and review the P&L on the reports page. Okay, and of course, reviewing also the rent payments on the payment schedule page. So, okay, let's now do some how to manage transaction in terms of split or overpayments. Okay, so I go to the transactions page. So when I need to split the transaction, let's say that I'm using a property manager, letting agent, and they are paying me just the net amount after deducting their management fees. But I want to allocate 2 different transactions. Okay, so for this example, let's do this. So let's say I will take it to the future, hopefully it will work, that I received on the 1st of September income it's a net rent, and it was for 400, let's say 450 pounds. Okay. So if I link my bank account or do it like manually, it's the same. I will see this row, net rent. It's not allocated yet. So I can either click on the edit and allocate it to the property and to a payment. But in this case, because it's a net amount and I want to split it to two different transactions, one is the rent and the second one is the fee, I will click on this icon, split transaction. Then I will split it to two different transactions. One is income, one is expense. The income is rent, and I will allocate it to this property and to this tenant, the September payments, okay? And the category will be rent, and it's 500 pounds, okay? So I need still to allocate 50 as an expense, okay? So this will be the management fee, same property, with the transaction of management fees, and the amount is 50. Okay, so now I have two transactions that will add up to 450 pounds. And one is the rent, which will be allocated to this property in this tenant, and the second one is the management fee. I click split. And all I need to do now is to click on this icon, allocate. Data, dependent record, transact data. Okay, so yeah, apparently I can't, but perhaps, all right, let's record it as a bug, because I would expect that the platform will allow you to track in future payment if the tenant basically made like an early payment for this rent. But basically, once I click allocate, so I will need to wait for September 1st to allocate this transaction, but we will fix it so you can allocate it before. But let's allocate, yeah, it's the same. Okay, so we'll fix it, but eventually this is the way to split the transactions, and then you can allocate them to the property and to the tenant. And we will make sure that you can also do it for future transactions. All right, let's go to the next topic, how to set up expense and income categories. Okay, so there are a few places you can do it, but let's go to the expenses breakdown tab. So in the expenses breakdown tab, you can see all the expenses for each category. And here you can manage your categories. So you can see all the predefined categories by the platform. So if I want to change them, I just need to go to one transaction, click on the drop down of the categories. And here I can decide if I want to change. Click on edit, so you can change the name. You can change the color. Click save. And you can also delete a category if you think it's not relevant for your needs, okay? And you can click on the plus icon to add a new category. So you can basically customize the entire list of categories to your own needs. You can delete all the predefined categories and create your new ones, or you can change some, delete some, add some. So it's very customized. Just select the color and create a new category. So this is the way to set up new categories. Okay, how to review my profit and loss statement. So again, go to the reports tab on the manage section of the menu. And here you can see your income and expenses breakdown in a P&L report. You can export this report to a PDF. In the property breakdown P&L, you can see for each property all the categories. and the expenses. And you can see the profit before tax, it's estimated, and the estimated profit after tax. Then you have the expenses breakdown. Let's see if I have it in this account. Perhaps I'll have more data. 1 second, please. Yeah. All right, so you can see here all the income and expenses. The nice thing with the P&L report is that, let's say that I want to see the breakdown of the rent. I can just click on the number, and then it will take me to the income breakdown tab. So I can see all the transactions that the category is rent, and I can change the category from here if I think that there was a mistake. And I can also upload the invoice or the receipt here. The same for the expenses breakdown. And you can also review the tax report for the properties that you own privately and the properties that owned by a company. And you can see the estimation of your profit after tax. And again, it's estimation. You can export all the details. I would do it from the profit and loss page. Then you decide which property data you want to export, which type of transactions and the period. And then you will receive an Excel spreadsheet that you can send to your accountant. And you can also file if you're like a private individual, you can file your tax return automatically to HMRC using our partnership with Untied. We have already webinar that we did on this specific topic, so I won't show it right now. I need to configure the account for that, but it's still feasible. All right. So I think that now it's time for questions and answers. But before we go to the question and answer, one last thing I wanted to show you is the interactive report. So let's say that you manage all of your properties on Lendlord, your tenants and tenancies, and of course the cash flow. On a weekly basis, we send this link to your interactive report. Yeah, 1 second. And in the interactive report, you can see a high-level overview of your portfolio. You can see the performance of the entire portfolio. You can see the top performing properties on your portfolio in various metrics, the worst performing properties, some information about taxes, there is a problem right now, some reminders, and then you can go property by property by clicking on the property in the background, and you can see the performance of this property and other important metrics. And also you can see how this property ranked if you compare it to other properties in your portfolio. All right, so let's go to some questions and answers if we have. So if you have questions, feel free to put it on the chat. Just another reminder to subscribe to our YouTube channel and to use the promotion code that Sarel put on the chat if you want to get a 60-day free trial to our premium plan. Just go to your settings page, click upgrade, and then in the pop-up, click add coupon and put the coupon that Sarel put on the chat. And I think that we have a question. Okay, so the first question, do you provide bridging loans for auction property? The question is yes, definitely. So first you can source auction lots on Lendlord, and then you can see that we can provide up to 75% bridging loan on auction properties. Just click proceed from the auction lot and start your inquiry by entering some of the details that we need just to initiate the inquiry, or go to the finance section of the platform, click bridging finance, and then start the same process. It's quite easy to submit an inquiry. Then after you submit the inquiry, you will receive your online application that can be tracked. The team will approach you at this point, but we just need to get some information about the applicants. But if you manage the data on Lendlord, you just need to click next. Some data about the property, and the date of auction. It's important, of course. And then you can proceed. You can see the indicative terms. You can upload your documents. Everything is online. Very streamlined for process. We're very flexible approach for underwriting, and we do the things in-house. So feel free to apply. Yeah, there is a bug now. Like, say, I get logged out to Lendlord very often. Yes, Ariel, if you can report it to the engineering team, because I received, or it was just like, I don't know, for a few minutes, perhaps they uploaded the new version. It's Sunday today, but we'll take it into account. Siko, thanks for, yeah, thank you. Yeah.
There's Semi was asking if I changed a new tenant, do I need to delete the old tenant information?
It's up to you. So on my tenants, you can see all the actual tenancies, but you can click on a tenant, click on the three dot, and then close tenancy. Okay. Then basically this tenant will become a past tenant. So you can store the history of your tenancies. It's quite useful, and then you can just see all the just want to see the address, all the history of this property in terms of tenancies. So I would not delete the tenancy or change the tenancy. I would just close the tenancy. Okay. You can also do it from here. On if you hover over the tenant row, click on the three dots, close tenancy, and then create a new tenancy. And by that, you can actually maintain the history of the tenancies for this property. All right. Okay.
Another question.
Yeah.
Mark is asking, can you add director of loan to the account?
All right. So right now, if the direct loan, basically it's not an income or expense, something that you want to see on the profit and loss, it's more like a balance sheet transaction. So we don't support it. Having said that, we do have now like a design that we are planning to add director loans and also record of assets and things like that on Lendlord, but it's not available late. The three things that you can track on Lendlord will be a purchase cost, which is a capital expense that relevant to a specific property. So for instance, if I select a property here, I can see the purchase cost. I can basically put all of course, the actual price is stamp duty, but also if I did some refurbishment, furnishing, legal fees, or things that associated with the purchase, or capital transaction. So let's say I did like a new kitchen after 2 years, you can also track it on a capital expense to the property. And the other type of transactions are the income and expenses, the ongoing income and expenses, as I demoed earlier in this webinar. The next thing will be definitely adding like director loans and transactions that are more relevant to balance sheet rather than P&L. All right. Okay, I see, Sarah, yeah, I see the question, Sarah. How long does it take for the bridging loan to be processed through? Okay, good question. So, once you submit the inquiry, if like during the working days, our team will be in touch, I think, in a few minutes with you to help you basically complete the process. Although all the process can be like online, you can also upload all the documents that we need for the underwriting team. Once you uploaded all the documents on your bridging application, then, and you can actually see, like you can see here, like all the documents that we ask for each applicant. Then within 24 hours, but usually it can take also 2 or 3 hours, you will receive your heads of terms. So we will complete the underwriting. The underwriting team can ask for more information, but once they are satisfied, then you can get your terms, heads of terms. Then you need to sign the heads of terms. The only fees that you need to pay upfront will be the admin fee and the valuation fees. That now we promote free valuation, to now no fee for valuation by the end of August. And then we basically instruct the surveyor to inspect the property and provide us with the valuation report. And we can also instruct the solicitors in parallel, the legal process, to expedite things. And we had cases that we completed in a few days or in 2 weeks. So we can be fast, but really it depends on the legal, usually. This is what takes time. Valuation can be, usually it can be like 2 or 3 days. There are postcodes that might take more time. But the legal process is usually is the bottleneck, but we can also help you expedite this as well. Because of that, we support auction purchases, because auction purchase you need to complete within 4 to 6 or to 8 weeks. And then basically bridging can help you complete the purchase. And then you can remortgage, or if you do some renovation, improve the property and then refinance or sell. So we support all of those use cases. As I mentioned, by the end of August, you can apply and get the discount for the valuation free. All right. I see like another question. Okay, Linda asks, if I delete the payment schedule, how do I create a new one? So go to Manage Payment Schedule tab. So from here, you can either edit an existing payment. Okay, so let's say I'm expecting actually to get £600, not 500. Okay, you can delete a payment, but you can also add a payment row. So you just need to select the tenant that you want the payment to be, the time that you are expecting him to pay, and the expected amount. The nice thing with the Tenants app that we are going to launch in September is that when you update or add a payment row to your tenant, he will get a notification on his tenant's dashboard to pay the new payment on the date that you mentioned. So this is like the way to actually customize your payment schedule for each tenant, for your tenants, from the payment schedule page. All right, another question for Sikor. Okay, can Lendlord help with calculation of CGT if I'm to sell the property which used to be my home and became buy to let? Okay, so the capital gains tax, I'm pretty sure the platform calculates the estimated gains tax. So if I go to calculated fields, yeah, so there is a field for that. I'm not sure when it's been calculated. Yeah, so for some properties, if we have all the information, the platform will calculate the capital gains tax. So you can either click on edit and see it on the calculated fields, but you can also create a new view for that. So I can CGT, and then I will select this column only. Wait, I want also to select the address. Okay, so I can see for each address what is going to be the calculate gains, the capital gains tax. All right, so yes, so we calculate it. Of course, it's based on general formula, so not sure it's like fully accurate, but it's definitely indication of your expected capital gains tax. All right. Another question from Paul: is the tenant dashboard a new feature, and is it premium only? It's a new feature, but it's still not live on the platform. It's just on testing right now. The team is testing this feature. So you will see like the invite tenant, and we're not sure yet if it will be just premium. Perhaps, you know, like to invite 2 of your tenants or 3 of your tenants for free, and then it will be, you need to upgrade to premium, but we're not sure yet. The good thing that you can also share the documents that you need to share with your tenants. The welcome pack, you can, of course, the ST agreement, but also the inventory report, right to rent, gas safety certificate, EPC, DICR. So you can upload it, or if you manage it on My Documents, you can just take it from there. Then click continue. You can also set up payments, or if you want Lendlord to help you initiate the payment, so your tenants can pay the rent from the app, and this will be part of the premium plan. And then just need to send the invitation to your tenant. The tenant will receive an email, will sign up to his tenant's dashboard. He will be able to review all the documents that you share with him. He will be able to see the payment schedule and pay the rent. And we are now also working on maintenance reports. So we'll be able also to report maintenance issues that you will get notifications for that. So stay tuned, should be in September, and we will do a dedicated webinar just for that. All right. Another question from Sarah: on the list of documents to be provided for bridging loan, I can see credit report and bank statement. If the property is bought as company, whose credit report and bank statement will be to be? Great question. So for company applications, we require documents for, 1 second, let's do it here. Documents for all directors or shareholders above 20%. So if you have 1 director in the company, we'll ask the credit report of the director. And if you have 2, we need for both. And if you have also shareholders above 20%, we need also documents for them. So this is for companies. All right. Yeah.
One last question that we missed. Stico was asking, is it possible to manage any projects via the system like refurbs or developments?
Yes. So on the deal analyzer, if you go to the invest part of the platform, click on rental, you have this bottom works plan. So you start to analyze a new property deal. Then you can create schedule of works using Lendlord. And this is also part of the premium plan. So if you start your free trial today, you will be able to check this out. The nice thing with the works plan generator, you just need to put the items of the refurbishment. You can put description, notes, of course, the cost, the starting date, and the end date of this item. Click on add new cost, and then you can continue and add more items to your schedule of works. And then you can generate it as a PDF and share it with others. So you can see the summary of your costs, the start date of the entire project, the end date. You can export it to PDF or to Excel. Very valuable feature. So this is available from Invest, Rental, the Deal Analyzer Rental. Just click on the Works Plan button. All right. Okay, another question. Does Lendlord have a mobile app to use on portable gadgets? Yes, Secor. We do have two mobile apps, one for Android, one for iPhone. Just search from the App Store or Google Play, Lendlord, download the app, and then you can use it on the go as well. You can review all of your data. You can analyze property deals. But you can also use Lendlord from your mobile web browser, but you can also download the app. All right. Another question from Sarah. Who applies for credit report, myself or you? So currently, we ask the borrower to provide us with a credit report and just upload it to the platform. All right. So thanks everyone for joining. Again, subscribe to our YouTube channel to get more relevant information and content. Feel free to reach out using this chat. You can schedule a call with our team for a demo or with our mortgage advisor if you want some advice on mortgages. And again, you have the benefit for 60 days free of our premium plan if you use the code that SRL put on the chat to start your 60-day free trial. So thank you very much, and we look forward to seeing you in our next webinar, and hope you will enjoy using the platform. Thank you very much.